Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into a really old story,
Ancient, yeah.
but it has these surprisingly relevant points, especially about dealing with, well, huge success
hmm
and the kind of tough decisions you face when you need to keep things harmonious, even when things are going great.
Or because things are going great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our source for this deep dive, it's from Genesis chapter 13.
Really compact narrative.
Right, short but packed.
hmm
And we're looking at it less like ancient history and more like a case study
Yeah, on strategy, resources, leadership.
and how choices play out long term. Our mission today is really to unpack all those layers, the decision-making, the resource management.
See what lessons we can pull out.
Yeah, for you listening, whether you're, managing a team, thinking about partnerships, or just navigating your own big decisions.
And what I find really compelling about this specific text is how it boils down these classic leadership dilemmas.
Hmm.
You get the sharp contrast, don't you, between grabbing the immediate, obvious win versus maybe playing a longer game.
Yeah.
Thinking about strategic patience. It really pushes you to look beyond just what's right in front of you.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We've got Abram and his nephew, Lot. They've just come out of Egypt, heading towards the Negev.
Huh.
And the text makes it super clear right away they are both very successful. Abram is very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold.
Significant wealth.
And Lot, who's with him, he also has flocks and herds and tents. So you've got these two kind of related entities.
Both doing extremely well, growing fast.
And that growth, that's actually where the problem starts, isn't it?
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. Their combined success, their possessions were just too much. The text says the land could not support them while they stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
Their stuff was just too great. So it's not just about, oh, we need more space. It's like resource saturation.
Resource saturation. Good way to put it.
Yeah, their very success created friction because the environment, the market, if you will, couldn't handle them both together anymore. It's a classic growing pain.
And you see the direct result. The text says, quarreling arose between Abram's herders and Lot's. Real conflict.
Visible conflict. Yeah.
And then there's this extra layer the text adds. The Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at that time. How does that factor in? Having outsiders watching.
Oh, that's critical. Think about it. When you have external eyes on you, any internal fighting looks even worse.
Right. It's not just an internal issue anymore.
Exactly. It potentially damages their reputation, maybe even their security, being in someone else's land. It just ups the stakes. They needed a solution, and probably an elegant one.
Which brings us to Abram. He doesn't just let it fester.
No, he's proactive.
He initiates the talk. He goes to Lot and basically says, look, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. He names the relationship.
Yeah, frames it around their connection. But then comes the really significant part, his offer.
Tell us about that.
Well, he essentially gives Lot the power. He says, is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. And then the crucial line, if you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left.
Wow. So total choice for Lot.
Total choice. This isn't just, being nice.
Yeah.
It's strategically brilliant. It's de-escalation 101.
So
Abram prioritizes the relationship, the long-term peace,
Mhm.
over getting the best spot for himself right now. It's like strategic divestment, separating assets to preserve the core relationship and ensure future stability. He's giving up first dibs for peace.
that's a powerful move. So putting you, the listener, in Lot's shoes for a moment, you get this amazing offer, first pick of anywhere. What goes through your mind? What criteria do you use? What does the text show us about Lot's thinking?
Well, the text is quite specific. It says, Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan towards Zoar was well watered.
Okay, so he's looking at the practicalities. Water is key.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just watered. It was like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. I mean, it looked like paradise. Prime real estate.
The best of the best, visibly.
Visibly, yes. From an agricultural or, economic perspective, it seems like a no-brainer. Lush, fertile, promising immediate returns.
Make sense?
But it's also maybe a classic example of what psychologists call present bias, where the immediate shiny thing outweighs maybe less obvious, longer-term factors.
Interesting. And right here, the text drops a crucial piece of information. A bit of foreshadowing, maybe. It says, this is before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
Boom, there it is.
And then it tells us exactly where Lot settles. Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom.
That context is everything, isn't it? Suddenly that well-watered plain looks different.
Very different.
Lot was attracted by the surface appeal of the immediate prosperity, but he settled near Sodom. And the text doesn't mince words about Sodom later on.
No, it doesn't. Right after saying Lot settled near Sodom, the very next verse states, "Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord."
So the place looked great, but let's call it the character of the environment.
The neighbors.
Yeah, the neighbors, the whole ethical landscape was deeply problematic. It's a huge lesson, I think, about due diligence. Looking beyond the surface appeal of an opportunity or a partnership. What are the hidden risks? What's the underlying integrity?
That's a really good point. So Lot makes his choice, heads east to the lush plain near Sodom. What about Abram?
Abram takes the other path. He lived in the land of Canaan, which maybe didn't look as immediately spectacular as the Jordan Plain.
Right. But he stays put. And remember, he'd already established a connection there, built an altar earlier between Bethel and Ai, called on the Lord. He seems to be sticking to his values, his path.
And this is where something really significant happens. It's after Lot leaves that the Lord speaks directly to Abram. And it's not just a casual chat, it's a massive promise.
What's the promise?
The Lord tells him, look around from where you are to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever.
Forever. That's a long-term vision right there.
Absolutely. It comes after Abram resolved the conflict peacefully, after he acted generously, after he chose integrity over maybe grabbing the best land himself. The timing seems important.
And the promise isn't just about land, is it? It's also about descendants.
Yes, hugely important. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. It's this incredible promise of legacy, of a future far beyond himself.
Wow. So land and legacy.
But it's not just a passive gift. There's an instruction and action required from Abram right after the promise.
What's that?
The Lord says, go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. It's like, go claim it, engage with it, understand it.
Actively participate.
Exactly. It's not just here you go. It's go make this vision real. For any leader, that's the vital step, isn't it? Strategic implementation. You have the vision, now you have to walk it out, live it.
And Abram does just that. The text says he moved his tents and went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron. There he built an altar to the Lord.
Yeah, he sets down roots, continues his practice of worship, integrates himself into this promised future. It reinforces his commitment.
So looking back at the whole story, it's striking how those initial choices set them on such different paths.
Completely different trajectories. Lot's choice, driven by that immediate visible appeal. Well, we know where Sodom ends up. It carried this huge unseen risk tied to the character of the place.
Right.
Abram, though, his path was maybe less immediately dazzling. But it was rooted in generosity, in prioritizing the relationship, in a kind of trust in something beyond the surface. And that leads to this profound, lasting promise.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, that the quickest win, the most obviously attractive option might not actually be the best in the long run, especially when you factor in things like values, integrity, the character of the path, like you said. It seems there's real wisdom in looking deeper than just the immediate payoff.
It definitely poses a challenge, I think. For anyone listening, when you're facing a big decision, could be business, personal, whatever, how do you weigh things?
Yeah.
How much weight do you give those immediate, tangible benefits, the well-watered plain versus the maybe less obvious long-term factors like the potential risks hidden beneath the surface or the ethical alignment, the fundamental character of the opportunity?
That's the question, isn't it? What does this ancient story make you reflect on about your own decision-making? How do you assess those unseen risks and make sure your choices align with a truly sustainable long-term strategy, something to chew on?